Mind your feet.
It's all stone new. It's yesterday.
And mind your head.
The Western Heights in Dover were developed to protect Dover from French invasion. Before going into the defensive ditches around the redoubt, we looked out over Dover, and it was easy to see why this area was chosen to fortify. Begun during the Napoleonic Wars, they were completed in the 1860s. The Western Heights were managed by the Western Heights Preservation Society. Parts of the site are open to the public for tours and events throughout the year. Please check out the website for more information about when they are offering tours, and I'll leave the link for you in the description below. Drop Redoubt is a part of the Western Heights fortifications. Redoubt means detached fort, and the drop was the name formerly given to the area in which it is situated. Drop Redoubt itself was built between 1804 and 1815. It had barracks for 200 men and was intended to house 12 24-pounder guns. Our impression of this area as we walked through it was that it was very defensible, as it could be easily defended with small arms or artillery fire. The area around the redoubt is somewhat overgrown, but it is still possible for visitors to get an impression of the complexity of this structure.
But yeah, there'd be about 1,000 troops. The idea was to get as many as possible down from the barracks out to there, ready to fight, and they could do it in about 15-20 minutes.
That's amazing.
Yeah. And it's 140 feet tall or 43 metres. You want to do it in foreign.
Fascinating.
It comes from my dad. Look.
Thank you.
Morning, Dad.
So 3 staircases, and we're each going to take one.
The primary purpose of our visit was to see the grand shaft, and happily it opened just after we arrived. This triple spiral staircase is unique. It was designed by Brigadier General William Twiss and was constructed between 1806 and 1809. The 3 staircases meet at the top in a bowl-like area with stairs that lead up to the parade ground in front of what would have been the grand shaft barracks. The inner cylinder has window openings to provide light and ventilation. The 3 staircases meet at the bottom and exit through a corridor out to the main street. After World War II, the whole site was allowed to fall into disrepair. The barracks themselves were eventually demolished in the 1960s. The site itself became a dumping ground for people's trash and even included a car. Restoration and clearance projects carried out by the Dover District Council and the Department of the Environment in the 1970s and in the 1980s allowed the shaft to be reopened to the public in 1986.
We had a long conversation with representatives from a local astronomy group showing us pictures of the aurora that they took back in May, and just talking about the area and talking about traveling. And I guess we stood there and talked with them for 30 minutes. I have so enjoyed being here. It was so interesting listening to them talk about the history of the area and what they do, not just the astronomy club, but the representatives for the Western Heights. This has been one of my favorite visits. You wanted to come here?
I did. It's cool. It's a feat of engineering. It had a cool military purpose. Never really used in wartime, but
except World War I maybe,
but very neat, very unique thing in the world.
A short distance away from Western Heights is Dover Castle. Dover Castle is available for tours. If a walk is more your style, you can also take a stroll across the top of the White Cliffs of Dover. The White Cliffs are a beautiful geological feature. They are made from chalk that formed underwater about 100 million years ago and are the home to several plants, insects, and birds.
Now, what are you saying about the English Channel? What do they play?
They got the BBC, they got Benny Hill, they play Bond movies. They got some soccer.
What'd you say? Are you served?
Are you served? And keeping up appearances.
The Bouquet residence. Lady of the house speaking.
Perhaps my favorite flower was the pyramidal orchid. It was a beautiful day to spend outdoors in Dover, and now we're heading back to London for an adventure of a different kind.
Well, here's kind of an exciting thing. We just had to leave our hotel room because the fire alarm went off, and there's actually smoke in the hallway. And this is our first
Stairwell.
night in the stairwell. So here we are in London. We got
9:30 at night.
yeah, 9:30 at night.
I'm timing the fire department.
So